Hello everyone and welcome to ILR6, ILR also known as Inside Line Racing. My name is Leon and I'm the usual commentator for ILR6, and today we are here for round number 5 here at Catalonia. The stream is a bit late. William, if you're in the ILR6 chat, which I think you are, I did say I was going to stream a little bit later as I was doing something. So that would be the reason why. But anyway, welcome to the stream. I have been told the weather, and I may as well spoil it now. We do have a hint of rain. It is very similar to last week, I believe, where it is dry for the majority of the race, and then right at the end, pretty much like ILR1 last week, PS4 wise, there's rain right at the end, which should hopefully throw some interesting results. There certainly was an ILR1, so there certainly could be in here. Currently at the moment, Heavy T is lead or provisional pole with an 18.4, and very soon I will go through the standings, so there's no worry there. Just welcome everyone to the stream. I've got 6 minutes left of the session. No podium interviews, as there won't be this season probably, unless it's Austria and Monaco, as I do race in ILR4 right after. So it does make it a little bit harder to get the time into commentate, or to interview, sorry. Just if you can hear a mouse clicking, that is me trying to get everything sorted. I will get on with the action very shortly. Yeah, everything seems to be sorted. Let me just get the standings up. Right, let's see who's on track first. We need to watch someone who's actually on track. Patuka's up on the lap in the middle sector. Coming up for this difficult rounder of turn 9, I believe it is. Losing the back end, and he's on the gravel, and he's able to save it, however. Very, very lucky for the Haas driver there. Almost losing it, almost putting it in a wall. So a very, very lucky person there. Let's move on to Nazu, who is winning the championship. I believe that's Nazu anyway, I have to double check. Has been a week, I've slept since then. But anyway, coming for the turn 9, the right-hander. Very easy to run wide, surprisingly. As they finish the middle sector, up by 4/10. So was Oishin there just getting in the way, possibly impeding. But anyway, up the hill, this left and right, now coming into the final chicane. Very easy, if you clip any of these curbs badly, you do lose time. Clips a lot of the curves, but just get a nice exit. Coming to the final corner now, Nazu is going to set a 1:18.7, puts him second, and it's the quickest medium runner so far. And the strategy for today will be the mediums to the hards, but there is rain at the end, so watch out. Or not watch out for us, but be ready for what will be a spectacular ending. I do have the standings up now, so we can go through them. Nazu still leads on 53 points after not even racing last week. In second is Patuka with 42 points. Third is Rebecca with 39, along with Leddy, who's also on 39. Joe then on 36 after winning last race by quite a margin, I do believe. Scott is 6th with 34 points. Then it's Shirura 27. Big W with 25. Stiggy with 16, along with Nipro, who is 10th. Outside the top 10, we've got Heavy T, Johnny R, Speed Iceman, OMG. He told me to Prix. I'm going to call it Prix. He did tell me how to do it, or how to say it, but I can't remember. Oishin, Mats or SD or ESD Mats, Bastos, Raptor, Comets and Bigzery. Constructors standings, Alfa Romeo lead on 69 points. Haas and Ferrari joint second on 52. Red Bull are fourth with 48. Then it's Toro Rosso with 43. Then Racing Point and Mercedes are joint 6th and 7th on 40 points. McLaren are on 18. Renault on 8. And Williams have scored the 1. So, we've got 2.5 minutes left. Perfect timing to get ready for the final runs. Good boy with Prix. Prix coming through the middle set to the uphill section. Go through turn 9 now. Specifically, Heavy T goes for provisional pole with a 118.3 on the soft compound tyre. The top 3 all on the softs. Prix up by 3 or 4 tenths practically coming through turn 10. There's turn 11, 12 and 13, I believe. Complex. Oishin's now starting to get in the way. Oishin gets out the way. Here comes Prix though through the final complex of corners. Very difficult. There's McLaren in the way as well, but is starting a lap. Joe is retired. He's currently 5th. Nazu is out, currently 4th. Prix around the final corner will set a 1:19.7, putting them 11th. Bastos potentially on a lap. Carl Meds is just finishing a lap. We'll see what Carl Meds can do. Carl Meds to the line does a 1:19.2, puts him 7th. Scott is also up on a lap, or on his lap. Nipro coming up to the line, up by 8 tenths. That is a massive margin to the line. Lost a bit of time, but has gone 6th through the 1:19.1. SD Mats also, but probably not closest to finishing the lap. Scott has backed out. Aledi just starting a lap. Is there anyone else who's close for now? JTX middle sector. Jaruru just starting a lap. Mats, I think, coming through the final sector in the McLaren. His teammates currently up in 3rd with the 1:18.6. Bear in mind that is on a set of softs. However, coming up to the line, this will be a 1:19.1, and that puts him 6th, 7th. I was genuinely not looking there. It was 6th for a momentary moment. Until Oishin went 3rd on a 1:18.5. That is absolutely brilliant there from Oishin. Who else? Jaruru is on a lap. Anyone rather close? Carl Meds, no. Sorry if you can see me flicking about and trying to find someone who's close. I believe it would be Stiggy. Stiggy coming through the final sector. A lovely helicopter shot here as he comes through the final corner. The Haas driver. Up to the line, it will be a 1:19.1. So fairly close there with everyone else. That's SD Max going off and into the barrier in the background. Jaruru around the final corner. What can Jaruru do? Jaruru to the line, 18.9. Patuka provisional pole with a 1:18.2. Big W is next. The Leddy's pit. Big W coming through the final corner in the Mercedes. On a set of mediums, what will that time be? A 19.0 on the dot, but invalid. Plus from 17th. Scott, no. Prix round the final corner. Also on a set of mediums, we'll set a 1:18 or 18.9. Wow, everyone's fairly close down on the medium compound. Wow. So, the end of qualifying, Patuka gets pole with a 1:18.2. Second is Heavy T, who joins him on the front row. Third is Johnny. Fourth is Oishin. Fifth is Sneaky. Sixth is Nazu. Seventh is Jaruru. Eighth is Prix. Ninth is Joe. 10th is Mats, or the SD Mats. And that's your top 10. Outside the top 10, you get fresh tyres is Nipro, Stiggy, Bastos, Carl Meds, Aledi, Scott, Big W, JTX, and Bigzery. What do you guys make of that qualifying session. Rather close, if you do ask me. Ooh, fairly overcast. We do know there is a bit of rain coming toward at the end of the race. So this is gonna be interesting. Will there be carnage? We don't know. Let's see, have we had, I believe, if I just go and check, yes, for the first 4 races, 4 different winners. Nizu won round 1, Rebecca won round 2, Jarura won round 3, I can't seemingly get my words out here, and Joe won round 4. So 4 different winners from 4 different tracks. Can we get 5 out of 5? So formation lap has begun. Everyone outside the top 10. Nitro, Bastos, Comets, Big W and Victory, all on the hard compound. We may try and stretch it to the rain. The rain doesn't look like it's that far from coming either. On mediums are Ledi and JPX, obviously inside the top 10 on the mediums. Pushing off, absolutely brilliant there from the Racing Point. Nizu, Jaruru, OMG Prix, Joe and Matt, and on the softs is the pole leader Patuka, Heavy T, Johnny R95 and Mr. Sneaky, who I believe is new to ILR6. Let's have a quick look. Yes, it's his first race this season. So it'll be exciting to see what the McLaren, or this driver can do. Not this McLaren driver, we've got to see. Into the 20s now on viewers. Or a bit more, one more person. Then the amount of people in this lobby. There seems to be a little bit of lag. Don't know if that's coming from my end or the lobby host. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. But anyway, let me just double check my own sound because I'm paranoid sometimes. Hold on a minute. Yeah, fine. It's there, so as we get ready for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix here for round number 5. Patuka leads, or will start from pole. 2, 3, 4 and 5 red lights as McLaren moving. And away we go for the Spanish Grand Prix. It does look like Heavy T's got off to the initial getaway. Patuka going into turn 1, doing very nicely. Sneaky's lagging all over the shop. And into turn 1, oh look at that, that's an Alpha. Oh, big contact there between the 3 of them. There's a Red Bull going off the track. There's quite a lot of lag. Coming into turn 4, Mr. Sneaky's may need his Wi-Fi checking out. But Heavy T took the lead. I'm sorry, I didn't even see that. Heavy T takes the lead. Patuka's in second. Oishin's in third. Johnny has completely dropped. He's now currently side by side with Viesti. Matt's coming into. Oh no, Prix is into the barrier. I can't even catch him. He's going that far down the grid. OMG Prix is, I believe, in the wall. Unless he's kept that up on the wall. That is fairly impressive. Patuka's got the move done on Heavy T into turn 10 and has retaken the lead. Oh, there's a lot of lag going on here. Please say if there's any issues with my voice, if it starts lagging. What we just laggy. So at the end of that one, Patuka followed by Heavy T, Oishin, Zoom, Sneaky, Jaruru, Joe, EST Matt, Stiggy, Johnny, Nipro, Scott, Aledi, Bastos, Bigzery, Big W, JTX and Comeds. And Jaruru is supposedly passing Mr. Sneaky and has. Joe is next. Down the inside of turn 3. Mr. Sneaky's used a different tactical teleport his way back ahead. Which is a interesting one to say the least. Back on board with Heavy T. Heavy T is keeping Patuka nicely close by, so we can go for a move. Probably on lap 3 when DRS gets enabled. This overcast sky is looking like it wants to rain sooner than anticipated, which would bode well for the soft runners and not for the hards. But I don't think Jeff can be that wrong with the weather. Everyone is saying that the weather's going to come at the end of the race, so I believe him. Wow, Patuka's gained a lot in that final sector. Heavy T is 1.2 behind. Wow. That final sector was an absolute shambles there from Heavy T. Let's go a bit further down the grid. We have got Stiggy, who's closing on Matt's, pulls to the inside. Jordy has left the session, going down the inside is Stiggy. But Matt holds on, and look at that in the background. Oh, it's Jaruru in the spin. He was side by side with Sneaky, I think. And Jaruru, China, not the China race winner, I think. Actually, yeah. Chinese Grand Prix race winner has fallen to the back of the grid. Mizzou now, championship leader, closing in on Oiship. This is the battle for the lead, to be fair. So we'll see what can happen. The softs are going to start to wear out pretty quickly. So Ocean may be in trouble here, trying to pass the two soft runners before they pit. As DRS has now been enabled. Well, it was actually last lap, but down this straight so we can really overtake using it. Nothing can be done there. Meanwhile, Stiggy, no, not close enough. Ooh, locks up, almost hits the back of Matt's. Nipro is there in the background. So see what Nipro can do. Top runner on a set of hards at the moment. The nearest person is Bastos, and Bastos is a good 5 seconds behind. So Nipro not looking too bad, but has got 4 cars ahead of him. So he's pretty much stuck in a train. What's happening here? Joe and Mr. Sneaky. Joe's got the move done. So Joe, the other racing point, the Baku race winner. This is also a train. Oh, actually, this is the same train. Meanwhile, we'll go on board with Nizu. Who's trying to get past Oishin and be the top medium runner as we start lap 5 out of 33. Coming into turn 1, Oishin is very close to the back of Heavy T. These softs are going to start to be struggling heavily. So Oishin is in the prime position. Patuka just ahead of that second margin from Heavy T. So he's out of danger, but a slight mistake and he is well in danger. Look at the gap to leader. Hello, that is Bigzery, who has had an off in the middle sector, sorry. Coming out of turn 4 and has now gone off the track again. I believe that is wing damage for the Renault. So the other Renault, apart from Giroux, both are going bad. Now Nipro was very close to matching on the Delta. It did go down to a 10th from what I saw. Let's quickly switch on board to Ocean. Ocean is 6 attempts back from Heavy T. Joe sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix at 122.5. On that set of mediums, Heavy T's off and into the barrier in sector 1 on the exit of turn 2, and is almost rejoined very dangerously. And has now dropped to 10th and has got wing damage, and that is practically the Mercedes driver's race over. Very unfortunate. It didn't look like he had the pace. He was struggling with a bit of traction. I was seeing through the corners, and inevitably, sorry, it had to happen. And into the wall, the Mercedes goes. Nizu, missing his braking point, going a little bit deep, which gives Oishin a little bit of room. Oishin not within a second of Patuki yet, but almost is. Gap is 1.1, but he's going to be in trouble here from Nizu. Nizu has got DRS. Oishin's got a little bit of slipstream that he can see a second ahead. Here comes Nizu. Oishin defends the inside line. Nizu didn't try it. Very interesting. Will they try it now? Doubt it into turn 4. No, I'm surprised by that. Nizu didn't go for it. Very interesting. Let's move a little bit further down the group. Seem to be obsessively going with the top lot. Let's see if there's a battle for 10th between Aledi, Big W, Jururu, Bastos and JTX. See if anything happens out of these 5. I'll fence them all, except for Jururu, but Jururu is probably the quickest out of these 5. Speaking of that, let's have a look at position changes. Jururu has lost 4 positions. Gain positions apart from Mr. Sneaky and Patuka. And everyone below Big Surrey has lost. Oh no. Is that any better? Can someone in the chat please say my mic is better? This Big W is going to look to go down the inside, or the switches to the outside. Okay, thank you. Oh, so he's off. Mr. Sneaky is colliding with Stiggy, I think, as they're both off. Oh wow! Scott going through the gap. Oh, Stiggy hitting the back of Scott. What is going on here? And now Patuka's losing positions left, right and centre. Nizu down the inside of turn 9. And now Patuka back down the inside of Nizu. Nizu's got the switchback line perfectly done. And Patuka's just going to have to give these positions up at this point. Joe now is all over the back of the Haas driver. Sorry if I seem a little bit preoccupied. I'm trying to see what was wrong. Yeah, it seems fine. Patuka now pits. Almost hit the pit wall. But yeah, this will be the one and only pit stop for the Haas driver, unless we have to pit for intermediates. Towards the end of the race, it should be for a set of hards. And it isn't. Sneaky's in as well. Let's see what Sneaky does. Sneaky is on a set of hard mediums as well. Are they predicting that the rain is going to come down earlier? Or are they going for a two-stop? Slightly interesting, but I think Drew has just passed a leady going into turn 5. So Drew is starting to make some places back up. Let's go on board with Bastos, as Bastos is closely behind Aledi, and Aledi's closely behind Jururu. I'd love to know when this rain is, because it looks like it's going to rain any minute. Joe with the fastest lap again with a 1:22.2. So lap times are tumbling. And the yellow flag's in sector 2. Carl Meds is out of the Grand Prix. With Johnny's Ghost, I'll try and confirm what that is, and that is before the exit of turn 8, I believe. And the Williams has gone into the wall, so Williams are going to be struggling to get a point. They currently have one, but need to look for some more. And the other Williams is not in a points bearing position, currently in 12th, and hasn't pit, so not going well for the Williams team. The SD Mats closing in on Nipro. I believe Nipro has passed Mats at some point, but I'm guessing the mediums still have a bit of life in them. Mats not giving this position up. These two are quite isolated on the track. Nipro is currently about 4 seconds behind the car ahead, and Stiggy is 7.4 behind this little battle, so they are all on their own. So Matt's with the DRS coming down the straight. Will Matt switch to the inside or the outside, or not do anything at all? Will not do anything at all. There we go. Just double checking my voice if you can hear a slight repeat of me there. Big W down the inside of Scott into turn 1. And Big W's got the move done on them. Slightly worn set of hards at this point. Nowhere near as bad as the mediums, but they'll start to degrade. Well, Bastos and Aledi, let's try and get on board with that. Bastos has got something, or got past Aledi, and that's now Patuka trying to get past Aledi. Patuka needs this. Patuka's got past Aledi quite comfortably. Now has to get past Bastos. This is costing Patuka valuable time to the other medium runners, for example, Oishin and Nazu. Patuka is going to have to tries it around the outside, brakes confidently later. Oh, but gets forced off the track. He's still going to try and keep it side by side there, but no, doesn't. Aledi and JTX. Oh, and JTX has just done a lovely 180, sorry. And meanwhile, Oishin's lost the lead. I will have to look at that at some point, but we're on board Patuka currently. I think JTX is struggling to get back round, but anyway, we're back on. Jururu's pitting. Patuka now with DRS should easily get the move done before turn 1. Pulls to the inside. There's still another 300 metres, and yes, Patuka has got the move done into turn 1. That cost him a lot of time. Meanwhile, there's been a switch of position up front. The gap to Patuka is 21.6 from Nazu. So Nazu in a fairly good position as it stands. They're also going to happen between the racing points, as one of them's going to have to pit at some point, and they can't pit at the same time. They don't want to double stack, so it could be interesting. Joe just lost it. Oh no, pretty much. It's kept the lead, and Joe pits. Joe is looking for the undercut on the front two. This will be in for a set of hards. Girouru's pitting on the set of mediums. Set of hards for Joe. Someone has gone for the hard tyre. I don't see why no one else has. Patuka sets the fastest after 121.5. Where will Joe come out in correlation to Patuka? It is just behind. Joe can go to the end on them tyres whenever this rain does come, which we don't know as of yet. Let's go on with the front two. They seem fairly close. Nazoo with DRS pulls to the outs. No, Ocean allows him down the inside, and Nazoo says thank you very much, but Ocean says, well, no, I'll let you have it for 2 seconds, but then I'll take it back off you with a lovely switchback. So Nazoo not very happy with that. Will they both pit? Knowing that they're battling now and they're going to lose time. Nazoo stays out. Meanwhile, Oishin pits. So we'll see where Oishin comes out. Will Oishin come out ahead of Patuka in the middle of Patuka and Joe? We'll see. Oishin pits for a set of hards. Fairly clean pit stop there from the Racing Point crew. And coming out the pits, Oishin's gonna come out behind Joe. So the undercut from the other Racing Point has worked on his teammate, and will most likely now work on the Zoo. And Patuka goes down the inside of Scott there at turn 4. Scott is on a very worn set of mediums at this point, and stands no chance in keeping the position. Welcome, Lewis. Let's quickly go on board with Nazoo. Nazoo will probably pit. Don't know why Nazoo is extending his medium stint when rain is on the way, but we don't know when. Nazoo doesn't pit again. Nazoo's now done 14 laps on these sets of mediums, so I don't see why. Meanwhile, Joe all over the back of Scott. Scott is losing these two time here. Stiggy pits. Yes, the Matt is staying out as well as Scott. A few of these medium runners seem to be staying out longer than usual, so they think the rain, I guess, is going to come down a lot harder. Joe tries it around the outside of turn 1. Will Scott fight this? No. Oh, that's Oishin down the inside, and Scott is having none of that. Oishin trying to make it 3 wide into turn 1, just gets shrugged off by the Red Bull and has lost himself more time. That was rather silly there from the Racing Point driver, and Mr. Sneaky is out of the Grand Prix, the second retirement, or actually I think it's the third, as Johnny has left the session. So it is actually the third retirement of the race. No safety car as of yet. Oishin's really close to the back of Scott, switches to the inside and goes down the inside into the turn 10 hairpin. But yeah, Oishin keeps the position, and it's raining. Is it a strategic masterclass from Nazoo? Has he absolutely blitzed everyone with this strategic masterclass? Hashtag Ask Comms, who's going to win tonight in ILR4? No clue. Chaza. Now we wait to see how long it takes for the rain to come down. I don't know how long the mediums can last. Nazoo will have to take them more than half the race distance. It's definitely going to become intermediate weather. Big Three pits for a set of inters. Well, I know the rain hasn't come down that quickly. The track's practically dry. I don't know what Big Three decided to do. The track's well too dry. Oh, yeah, I said to what, JTX is off at turn 4. Turn 3, sorry. And that's the other Williams. A bad day for Williams. Meanwhile, Patuka, who is probably disappointed with themselves, but as did start on the softs. Everyone knew the rain was coming. I don't think it was going to come this early though. Patuka now in slippery conditions has to try and pass the Mercedes of Big W. Big W's tyres will start to become worn at this point. The hards last, I think it's about 25 laps, I would say, I think at maximum. So we'll see what can happen here. I'm just thinking that the Zoo and the SD Mats and Scott are in a little bit of trouble. As the rain's not coming down that hard, these mediums are going to make it. As if someone in the chat could please tell me the life of the mediums. Oh, as Big W's gone off in the slippery conditions. Will Patuka try and capitalise? Going side by side up the hill. Is that really recommended? Oh, Patuka around the outside. Big W losing the back end. Struggling for grip. And the Estimat's pits. I think that's still too early. Has the McLaren pit too early for what will definitely be for intermediates? I think that is a too early pit stop. Not as early as Big Three, obviously, but still well too early. Yeah, I was going to think the mediums, there's a few more people pitting now for inters. Who's off in the middle sector? Is it someone up top or someone below? JTX is off. A lot of people pitting for inters, but I've not seen a DRS be disabled. Well, these guys know better than, obviously, me. I'm guessing it is the intermediate time. And JTX is retired, the 4th retirement. It's now a double retirement for the Williams. Nazoo trying to limp into the pits. They're going to have to double stack here at Alpha. Just going to halt Nipro, but they've got a comfortable 1-2 as it stands, and they're going to pit for a set of intermediates, and that's a Leddy off on a set of intermediates. Well, I think DRS has now been disabled, so double stack at Alfa Romeo. Nazoo has pit. Oishin is staying out. Is he crazy? As Scott picks up a stop-go penalty, or practically a stop-go penalty for speeding. What is Oishin doing? Them tyres have got well no grip left. Wow, Oishin is really struggling. Mats now has overtaken Nipro actually because of double stack at Alpha. Oishin's looking dangerous, but Mats on the traction should be able to get the racing point. The racing point gives him a tight squeeze. is Oisin doing? Oisin is pushing Nipro off. I know it's a battle for position, but Oisin's not really in a position to fight for it. Oh, more contact there with Nipro, but Nipro is going to get away. I don't know why Oisin has done this. It cost him so much time, a potential podium. He's now going to drop out the points. Just slipping and sliding. And eventually coming into the pits a lap too late, I may add. So Oisin's lost about 13 seconds. And we'll see where Oisin comes out. I don't think the rain will get any heavier, but I think the intermediates can make it 13 laps. Oisin is going to come out in 10th. So from potentially having 15 points, he's now going to get 1 at this current moment in time. And there seemingly is no one within a second of anyone else, which is possibly the first time we've seen this all season long. So we'll keep on board with this battle for P2, or what might be battle for P2. Nizu has got a 9.3 second lead, which is absolutely ridiculous. Or what? Yeah, 9.3. I don't think Nizu's going to be in any trouble whatsoever, and it will be a second win. So there won't be a 5th different winner out of 5. This is the closest battle, 1.4 seconds. As we start lap 21. I'll give you guys an update on ILR8. It's a dry race, and Ivor Brian Mike is winning the race at the moment. And in terms of ILR7, Colours the God is currently winning, also a dry race. So we're the only one with a wet, or a wet infected, or affected, not infected, a wet affected race. So it should be interesting. Let's switch to Oisin, who is closing in on Scott, hopefully going to double his points from 1 to 2, which isn't great, but it is better than nothing. Oh, we're over that curb there. You can see the rear end just bouncing up as he hits the curb. Anyone in the chat want to say anything? Feel free. Losing the words today. Feel free. There we go. As Oisin goes off the track there at turn 10. Struggling in the wet weather conditions, I do see. What kind of lap times are they setting? They're going to be into the mid-30s, I think. 1:32 for Oisin, so the lap times have significantly decreased. So the fastest lap will go to Patuka at 1:21.5, unless someone can do an absolute miracle and beat that lap time. Then I think Patuka's going to get that extra point. Back on board with Nipro, as Nipro is now 1.2 behind the SD Mats. 1.2 now. Can Nipro get within that second? I know there's no DRS, but once you get within that second, you get a bit of slipstream. You do get a bit of slipstream with a gap of 1.2, 1.3. His yellow flag's in sector 2, and that looks like Stiggy has had an off. Stiggy, somewhere on the exit of turn 9, has had an off, lost most of their wing, and is now currently down in 12th and will have to pit for a new front wing, which will drop him down the grid significantly, down into 15th, which is currently last, as we have 4 retirements. If anyone's wondering why I said 4, because Johnny has not been here since very, very early on. And Stiggy is out of the Grand Prix, somewhere in sector 3. Is it in the pit lane? Oh, he's hit the pit. Yeah, he's hit the pit wall, and has been teleported back on the track. Well done, Codemasters. I'll give you that one. Let's go on board with Joe, as Joe is closing on Patuka. Let me just check the standings quickly, but I don't think we've had a wet affected race this season. No, all been dry. It's more yellow flags in sector 2. That is not Stiggy. That is Oishin. Has gone off at turn 6. Wow. Turn 6 is an interesting corner to go off, and Oishin's off again at turn 9. And I think that could be it for Oishin's race. Perhaps. No, Oishin's going to carry on. But in last place. Now on board with Nipro, as Nipro has got within that second of the SD mats, sorry. Awful camera angle as we see through the halo. It can be quite nice, but it's not as good as anymore. Catch no 8 temps, and Oishin is out. I did see that coming. Yeah, so another DNF. That is our 5th or 6th DNF this race. Down to 13 drivers. So I think sector 1 now. What's happened to sector 1? Oh, it's Oishin's car. For some reason, it's come out of the pits. Is it retired? Has it disappeared, or is it still carrying on? I believe the car has gone, which is quite nice. Yes, Big W. Let's see if he's a big gainer. Yes, up 11. So not bad there from the Mercedes driver. There's Oishin's car. What is going on there? As you'll have to sector 2. None of the front. It's just Oishin's car. Yeah, the biggest loser technically is Johnny, but still in this race is Heavy T, the other Mercedes. So one Mercedes having an absolute brilliant race, the other one having a bit of a shocker. Now back on board with Nipro. Nipro has lost all the time that he gained on the SD mats. So I have to try and fight hard to get all of that back. I may flicker to Joe once the gap gets closer. I may flicker to Jaruru if that gets any closer. So I apologise then if you just heard my computer. Let me just quickly turn that off, or the volume. Gap's now 1.2, 1.5 between Jaruru and Bastos. That seems to be closing in. Oh, that's actually a car in the way of the SD Mats. I think that is Johnny's car, however. What Johnny's car is doing? What Johnny's car is doing. Oh, a bit of a wobble there from Nipro. I do have to apologise, but I do have to quickly go for a toilet break. So I'll quickly unplug my mic, and you can watch a lap or two on board with Nizu, and hopefully I'll finish my toilet break by then. Back in a momento. Hey, sorry about that. Hopefully the mic isn't crackling. Let me double check. Hey, sorry about that. Hopefully the mic isn't crackling. Let me double check. No. Okay. We are good. We're back. Start of lap number 29. And I guess nothing has happened as Nizu is still winning, but has lost a little bit of time to ESD Mats. Oh, there's a little bit of a battle here. ONG Prix and Bigsery for P12. It's not relevant points wise, but it's a good battle. Gives them experience in the wet battling someone else. In Bigsery's case, it'll be attacking someone else. In Pri's case, it'll be defending from someone else. Anyone who's been in the stream for the whole duration of the race. Say your favourite part of the race. This race, I would have to admit, has probably been the worst for excitement this season. Not as much action, there's been a few mistakes here and there. So I'm going to have to put this at the bottom of my list. Even though, yes, it is our first wet affected race, it's not been that great, unfortunately. I was hoping for a bit of rain right at the end of the race to try and get people mixed up between the dries and the inters, but I guess not. Big 8 tenths behind, and he's actually losing time on the straight, so yeah, has got the better downforce, but hasn't got the straight line speed. And now the gap has extended massively, so we can get back off it. Go back on board with Nipros. They start lap 30 out of 33. As I said before, I'll just repeat, no podium interviews, as there is ILR4 right after for me. And I do have to host it. So, yeah. Means I have to admit it'll be a little bit earlier. Nipro given a solid gap of 1.1. Not going to check the penalties. I think we know who has won this race, unless Nazu has got mass amount of penalties. Have I got pace around Spain? I've got pace, but I don't know, it's relatively good pace. Qualifying, I'm setting low 18s on mediums, at best probably a high 18, high 17, sorry. Keep an eye on that Jaruru battle as well. Is that your best, Lewis, or you're consistent with that? As we start lap number 31, 3 laps to go of the Spanish Grand Prix. That is Bigsbury coming out the pits at the bad time. Bigsbury's going to now block Nipro. But Bigsbury just get out of the way. Good luck, Lewis. We've got 22 minutes until it starts, hopefully. So yeah. Anyway, about Letty and Scott. What is Scott doing? I didn't even notice, but Scott has gone on a set of wets. Like, I do know it's raining, but not that badly. With line on, I've learnt that, as we go and look at this Bastos battle, it's a three-way battle here actually for P6. What I've learnt is braking. I'm a lot more confident. More speed through the corners. I've only gained about 3 tenths though, so it's not that great of an improvement. Anyway, as these guys start the penultimate lap. Look how different this can be when you don't have DRS. It's practically impossible to overtake. as Giroud has dropped out of the 1 second margin, which isn't obviously important, as it's the wet. Just to confirm you on ILR8 and ILR7, ILR8 is on lap 31, and Zipad, or Zipadoodle, is winning that at the moment. 2 laps to go. Meanwhile, ILR7, as Bastos is not going for the move, they're on lap 33, and Colours the God is currently winning. Let's get back on our stream. Nipro, let me just quickly get off this. Nipro, 3 tenths behind the SD Mats, is not going to get anything done as we start the last lap. Cannot wait to come back onto this track, F1 2020. Not. Well, this track is a very mixed opinion. I don't like it personally. Just don't like the style of it, but some people love it, some people hate it. Top 2 here, definitely going to get decided on penalties. I think the Zoo has definitely won this race. Patuka has a slight chance of getting second, depending on the penalty amount. But in the wet, it is a little bit hard to get that many penalties. And the rain just seems to be coming down a little bit harder, but it doesn't matter. We'll go on board with Nazoo, who is going to win his 2nd Grand Prix of the season, and will extend their championship lead over whoever it was. Patuka, who is currently in 2nd. Rebecca's not even racing, so yeah, big gains for the Alfa Romeo driver. Coming through the final few corners. Now the final corner in mixed conditions, eventually intermediates. Nazoo wins the Grand Prix by 7.3 seconds, followed by SD Mats on track, and SD Mats will stay 2nd, Nipro 3rd, Patuka 4th, Joe 4th. They both ran out of fuel, but Joe got 4th, Patuka 5th. Big W may get 6th. He's got a little bit of a train behind him. And it is Big W followed by Bastos, followed by Giroud. Then it will be Heavy T, who has gone off, but will get 2 points. So not bad there from Mercedes driver. Not the greatest day at the office, but it is a day at the office nonetheless. Heavy T to the line and will get 9th today. A Ledi P10. Let's check where a Ledi started. A Ledi started 15th, so not bad. 15th to 10th. It's a point on the board. Not great for being in the top 5 of the championship, but oh well, it is 10th for the Ferrari driver. Here comes ONG Prix, 11th, so Ferrari 10th and 11th. And finally Scott, who tried the wets and it didn't work. Who's my driver of the day? Who's my driver of the day? It's hard to say. I'll give it Nazoo, because Nazoo did very well in the mixed conditions to keep the gap as it is, lost a bit of time but then gained it all back. So here's your top 3. I'll quickly go through the grid as I do have to head off pretty quickly. I'll say Nazoo. Yeah. So Nazoo won. Matt's finished 2nd, Nipro 3rd, that is your top 3. Then Joe 4th, Patuka 5th, Big W 6th, Bastos 7th, Giroud 8th, Heavy T 9th, and Ledi 10th. That is all your points finishers. Outside the top 10 who finished were OMG, Prix, Scott, and Big Zuri. All the DNFs were Johnny, Ocean, Stiggy, JTX, Sneaky, and Carmeds. That'll be it from me. I'll be back for next week for round 6 in Monaco. And if you want to see more ILR action, ILR 5 and ILR 4 are on shortly. So for ILR from me, I will see you next week.